Okay, people are popping on.
There, I'm unmuted.
Yay! This is exciting. We'll give it like a few minutes, just first time, get people popping on. Check this out, you guys. Can you see behind me? Cassie, you'll notice it's a bit different. I finally finished my built-in shelves.
Oh, I was like, who's saying my name? Who's talking to me? Is that your office?
That's my office.
Oh my goodness. Amazing. It's like so different.
No, we're not done. I got to put knobs on and stuff. It's seriously like, this is recording, so I'm talking about offices, but it was a hack from IKEA. So they're like IKEA bookshelves. And then we just like built it in and put a crowd molding on the top.
Love it.
Boom. Right?
Done deal.
Welcome, welcome everybody. This is so exciting. Our first annual, because it's not going to be annual.
Like annual. We're doing this once a year.
Weekly call. So while we wait for a few people to jump on and jump into our topic for tonight, I just want to thank you guys first off for like taking some time out on a Monday night when I'm sure you'd rather be just vegging and relaxing nights. But we are going to, for the month of March, we're going to do these every week on Monday at 8 o'clock. We'll try keep it to just like a half an hour. I'm a bit quiet. Okay. Shoot, I need to get a speaker. I'm going to have to order that. Okay, I'll try talk louder. But we're going to try to do it on a weekly basis. So every Monday night at 8 o'clock, we'll try keep the sessions to just a half an hour. So it's not a massive chunk of your time in your evening, but hopefully either before or after you just get your kids to bed, we get a little bit of information out and share some inspiration. And then we'll see kind of how it goes. If you guys like doing it every single Monday from 8 to 8:30, we will continue with that. Or if it seems like it's too much, we may switch to either doing it like the first and the third Monday and having two little, business inspiration evenings a month. But we'll kind of wait after we do a couple to get some feedback from you guys on what you think and how we want to move forward. So we may have some newer girls kind of jumping on tonight, but it might take people a few minutes to kind of get used to Zoom and what this is all about. Does anybody have like questions about what's going to go down before we jump into things? There is a chat tab, depending if you're on a tablet or on your computer. Along the bottom, if you're on a computer, there's a chat tab, or I think you can swipe left or right on a tablet. And if you have questions and you just don't want to verbalize it quite yet, we can type it in the chat tab, and I'll kind of try to keep track of that.
Can you swipe?
We'll also discuss maybe just at the end before we close, and we can talk about it in the sharing business group, but some ideas of topics that you guys need to know more about. So if you jump on, if you guys want to just mute yourselves, just so we don't get the background noise. But yeah, so that last point was just topics that you want to learn about, or just something that's on your heart that you feel like we need to talk about as a group, or to be sharing with new people. That my hope and my dream is that with these calls, not only will it be us leaders, but we can include new people that are excited about this business to join in and jump along with us. So tonight, just checking our list. We might have a few people on phones, cell phones too. Okay, so we'll just jump into it tonight. This will be recorded so that we can share it. So I'll provide you guys with a link, probably via Dropbox or YouTube, that you can share with members if they aren't able to make it. But yeah, we don't want to take up too much time. So we'll just get into the basic of what we were going to talk about tonight, which is why Young Living. So it's super basic. We're just going to I'll share my story. Most of you have likely heard it. Some of you may have not. I'm going to share my story, and then I have a few awesome ladies that I'm going to call on to share their stories. And it might be kind of cool because you may not have heard them before or what their story is and kind of what drives us to do what we do. You know, it's awesome to say, hey, I want to go for it, but you have to have a reason like why you're doing it. So basically my story is I, previous to Young Living, was in banking. And my husband and I owned a traditional business, an electrical business. And my vision was when I got pregnant with our first daughter that I would never go back to banking because they are grumpy and old, and I didn't want to be grumpy and old and work at a bank. So what my dream was, like the big, huge dream that my husband and I used to talk about was, we'll own this small business. We'll have our few employees. We would live like his parents did. So they financially did okay. They weren't really doing great, but they were doing well enough that they could take a vacation. They could take a little bit of time off. But we knew that owning a business was going to be hard because we did it with them years before we actually purchased it. So we kind of thought like that was our perfect life in a box, was we're going to own this business. We're going to take care of our kids. And him and I would do the work on the owning end of it, so books and all that kind of stuff. And we were like content and happy with that. That was like our perfect dream life, which sounds crazy. So 6 months after our daughter was born, I was introduced to Young Living. Prior to that, I had heard of it from midwives saying like, yo, you should try essential oils through your pregnancy and delivery. And so I was kind of, my interests were piqued in what they were about, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So my husband just decided, you know what, I'm going to buy this essential oil starter kit, take it home. Maybe it'll help my daughter sleep. That would be perfect for us so we could get some more sleep and have some freedom in our evenings. So we got these oils into our home, and it wasn't within like a week or two I was talking about it. I naturally just loved what they did. They helped my daughter sleep. They calmed me down. I had ways to like clean my home toxic free. And I just naturally was talking about it. I in no means wanted to create a business or share this with intention. So I enrolled a couple people here and there over the next few months. It was 5 months that I was kind of casually excited about the product and sharing with somebody. And in turn, I would get this little paycheck, like a few $100s. And for me, I was pumped because I took all of that money and bought way more product. Usually I would spend more than what the paycheck was. So my husband kept encouraging me, well, if you want to continue to buy this product that you love, you just have to cover your orders with what you make. And it wasn't until about 5 months into our journey with using the product and just kind of casually talking about it, I went out to an event with my sister-in-law, and we really kind of just wanted a night out. We wanted to do something fun. We both had babies at home, and sometimes you just need that break. And we thought, hey, let's drive an hour, go to this meeting. Maybe we'll have some adult conversation and have some fun. So we show up to this meeting in Rocky Mountain House, and there's this young guy who is my sponsor and enroller, Adam Green. He's the one that kind of got us started. But we thought, let's hear what his journey is all about. And he started sharing just his raw truth of how before he was introduced to this lifestyle and this model, he basically felt like he had no purpose. His life wasn't going anywhere. And all of a sudden he realized like he wanted something more with his life and wanted to do something more with his time. He had said to us, kind of his closing in his speech was, time is your only limited commodity. So what are you doing with your time? Is it a job that you love? Are you able to spend it with the people that you want? Do you have the financial freedom to do those things that you want to do? And we left just like totally struck by what he said and just felt like, okay, what do we have to lose but to just try, do this whole thing? If it doesn't work, whatever, like that's okay. So we decided then the following month that we were going to go for silver, which was the first leadership rank in Young Living. And we seriously have never looked back. I honestly thought once I hit silver, then I was going to be good. I just, would be silver and be content and happy with that. But what I've realized is it's not about me and the rank that I can achieve. It's about helping so many other people have that opportunity to get those things that they want, whether that's time freedom with their children, whether it's, $500 extra to cover a mortgage payment or the bills in their house, or their husband able to leave their job. Like, we've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, I would say even thousands of people's lives impacted by just sharing this product and earning even just a little bit of extra money. So now it's our passion, my husband and I, to do this together and continue to see people's lives changed. So it's just such an exciting journey. And I kind of wanted to start our calls off by the why, so you guys can kind of get a grasp of, like, this is why we're all on this crazy journey together, and kind of keep you encouraged that it's so possible for you too. It's not just one person at the top that's going to, be able to achieve these things. It's everybody does it together, which is really, really cool. So I wanted to introduce another lovely friend of mine. We've known Jason and Nicola for quite some time, before even our Young Living journey started. And she will share a little bit more about kind of how they got involved with everything. So Nicola, if you want to share just your story, your why, and your rank with Young Living.
All right, I think I'm unmuted. Can everybody hear me? Good? Okay. Well, thanks, Megan. That was awesome. I always love hearing your story. And I'm really excited for these calls. I think it's really encouraging that we can all kind of get together, whether it's every week or every other week, and just kind of touch base and see how everything's going and share any tips and ideas with people. So yeah, thanks for everybody for joining. Like Megan said, like, we've known Travis and Megan you've known Travis 20 years, so a long time. And then obviously when I started dating Jason, I was introduced to Megan and Travis, and it wasn't until, I guess, Megan and Travis had their first baby, and we actually had our first, Sienna, that Megan had then introduced us to Young Living. And at that time, I was working at a medical office in Saskatoon doing transcription. So I was hearing about what all the patients were coming in for and all the prescriptions that were being sent out. And I honestly, it broke my heart to hear about all these sicknesses and everything that I felt could be prevented. And then, I guess it was about 6 months after Megan had got her kit, she had told us about this starter kit. We weren't really in that whole oily field at the time, and didn't really consider ourselves people that would use oils. So I think it took Megan about 3 or 4 times to actually persuade us to buy this kit. And boy, am I glad that we did, because Sienna had started daycare, so she was about 1 year old and was coming home with so many different germs. And I always remember Megan talking about this thieves oil. So we just started using this thieves, and she wasn't getting sick as often. And it just kind of opened our eyes to what other products we had in our home that maybe weren't so safe, like our cleaning products and our personal care products, and just the effects that was overall having on our bodies. It really, Young Living isn't just all about oils, as you know, and I think as soon as you're submersed into this lifestyle and culture, you really understand kind of all the other areas where we can improve in our homes. So we started slowly switching over our products, and for example, today I was able to stay home with my littlest one because she was sick. I did not have to take time off work. I didn't have to, your schedule is pretty flexible, but it's just the flexibility that I have to stay home if I need to, because I have that residual income coming from Young Living now. So we are silver leaders. We hit silver in September of last year, and it's just going up and up. And the residual income is really starting to show, and it's a powerful, powerful thing. So, do you have anything to add? No?
No,
He's being
I'm
quiet
just
tonight.
lurking in the
He's
background
usually
tonight.
always the one that talks, so now I get to talk. Yeah, there we go. That's our why, and we just want to obviously be Royal Crown Diamonds one day, and empower all of our team that they can all do it as well. And it's a team effort. It's not, like Megan said, it's not always just about you and what rank you are, but helping your team become that. So yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Nicola. And like the coolest thing is too, is when you do this journey, sometimes it is along with friends that you've known for years, and that's super exciting and awesome to be able to do that. But the other cool thing is you get to meet like the most amazing people. So I would say, yes, every person on this call, except for Jason and Nicola, I had never met if it wasn't for Young Living. So it's just kind of a cool testament to how many people you get the opportunity to meet, and they turn into be your closest friends and the people that, you know, you have pretty awesome relationships with. So I think that's really great as well. So our next awesome lady tonight that is going to share with us, I had met through a friend in Sylvan Lake, and I think we were kind of in a mom's group, but I hadn't really shown up yet since my baby had been born. I was supposed to go to this like mom's group where you stroller size and stuff. And our girlfriend Carla was the one that was interested in learning about Young Living. So I had invited her to come over for coffee, and she was going to bring her friend along. So Cassie joined us, and it's been an amazing journey ever since. So I'll let her share a little bit of her story.
Yeah, so like Meg mentioned, Megan and I met through a mom's group here in Sylvan. At the time, our oldest was, how old were they? Just over a year. Yes, just over a year. And yeah, I had no prior knowledge whatsoever about Young Living or essential oils at all. It was nothing that I was around ever, but I was asked to go out for coffee to a friend's house and just chat and visit. And of course, a mom with a new baby in the middle of winter, you just need to get out of the house as much as you possibly can. So we did, and that's when I met Meg, and we spent like 4 hours just talking about oils and having kids running around crazy all over the place. But I was hooked. I wanted to dive in right away, but my husband was a little bit more skeptical. He's the researcher kind of a guy, so it took us after being introduced, we did sign up, but didn't get a premium starter kit for a full month. So I really messed Megan up with those bonuses. Sorry about that. But anyways, yeah, it took us about a month for Jordan to kind of say, okay. At that time, actually, Jordan worked overseas. He worked overseas for quite a few years and has been out of the house working away the entire time we've been together. Prior to me having a baby, I was a flight attendant as well. So we really spent a lot of time outside of the house. So when we had little ones, me being home was important because he was always gone. So at first, Young Living was something we definitely brought into the house for wellness purposes. But I noticed earlier on, the more I would share with just my close loved ones around me, like my sister and my sister-in-law and my mom and mother-in-law and that kind of stuff, that there was an income opportunity. So I did jump on board with the business side of things rather early on, but just with a casual sharing kind of thing. And I know the game changer for me business-wise was the first event outside of Megan's house that I ever went to was actually an event that Megan and Jill put on the day they got their Aroma Complete for hitting Silver and 6. They hosted a class in Red Deer, and both of them brought those beautiful little Aroma Complete kits. And that was a game changer for me because I was like, okay, if I just get to Silver, then I just get that kit and then I'm done, right? Like, I'm okay. it kind of went further than that a little bit. So within a year, I did hit the silver in 6, and we did hit silver, which was great. But that was 6 years ago. So it has been a journey, you know, of ups and downs, but of awesomeness too. So it's nothing that happened overnight for me, but it's been the most amazing journey to be able to, you know, grow personally, but also, and in wellness and that kind of stuff, and financially. We just recently, as of March 1st, Jordan has been able to take a job. Now he works Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and is able to be home so much more, which is a huge thing for us. You know, our goal was never to bring him home full time, because he loves what he does and he loves his industry, but for him to just be home as much as he can. So it's been awesome to not have to worry about, you know, him taking a full-time salary instead of a bonus in a salary. We don't have to worry about financially. It was just kind of a quick decision. The opportunity came and he got to take that. So that was really, it's awesome for us. It's an adjustment to have him home all the time. Love him dearly, but it's an adjustment for sure. But it's been really awesome. So yeah, our why has always been first and foremost our family and our time together. But I feel like comes really closely is the accountability for our team, like the team that I've grown over the last 6 years. We have some like super awesome ladies who I like to say they're kind of like a family, but basically because they're all related somehow along the way, they are pretty much family. So it's really awesome to have awesome leaders together that they're not all in the same team. They're cross-line and they're upline and downline, and, you know, some of them aren't even that close to each other, but it's nice to see everybody work together. And that's what I love about Young Living is people you never, well, I mean, most of them are family, so you would know them, but you've grown in a different way together. And that is what drives me every day. They drive me to be a better person and a better leader, and they make me super accountable for all of my stuff. So it's been an awesome, awesome journey for sure.
That's so awesome. Thank you, Cassie. And it's so cool too, because one thing that I will point out that you guys may not be aware of or know, well, probably don't know, but when Cassie and I first met, it was Cassie, myself, and Carla, and I think there was one other girl that day. Yeah. But when Cassie left, like, she wanted to get the kit, but kind of had to wait and whatever. But even after, I totally felt like, you know, she's not going to do it. Like, I just kind of thought like, well, like, she might get the product and maybe she'll use a couple oils, but really just thought like, you know, that might be it. And I feel like so often we have those feelings because we prejudge a situation. So we meet somebody, and it was awesome that Carla introduced us. And the cool thing is I had no idea what I was doing at all. I just grabbed my little oil kit that I had. We had no script. We had nobody telling us like, this is how it's done. We sat in my living room and we kind of nursed babies and stopped them from screaming here and there. And I just passed stuff around and said, I don't know about you, but this is what I've used this one for. This is how it worked. And even after leaving, I kind of felt like, you know, I think it went okay, but I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out. And just over the next couple months, just, you know, I knew she liked her product, but had no idea where it would take us in our relationship, where it would take her in her business and with her family. Like, seeing those changes in people's lives of having a husband be able to take a different job that he prefers just to be close to his family is so incredible. That just makes me want to cry. But anyways, I just wanted you guys to hear a few stories of why we do this, so that you want to keep tuning in and keep learning more. One thing that I read actually like briefly before I got on this call was the number one skill that we can learn in life. And I have heard this lots before, but that number one skill in our life that we need to learn is to not give up. Because I think it's so common today that we want things now. And as you've heard a lot of our stories, so I'm a platinum, Cassie is a gold, Nicola is a silver. through our journey, it has not always been easy. We've definitely had those ups and downs and struggles of things like being really exciting and things going well and then it not going so well. But it has taken us a long time to get where we are. So this isn't something that just happens overnight, but it's something that with like care and attention and just intention in what you do, it is something that is possible. And the second thing was, I had another girl in my team. She's not on this call tonight, but she shared a post of her husband is, I don't know exactly where he works, but he had hurt his back really bad. So he'd been on modified duties and only working 3 days a week. But just recently it was hurt worse, and now he is off totally. He's collecting WCB, and she said like it's a fraction of what his paycheck was. But Young Living has given her the opportunity to be able to keep earning income while taking care of her husband at home. And he's not stressed because they have that additional income. So the one thing that struck me was maybe you don't need it now, but maybe you never know when something could go wrong. Are you working on your plan B or additional income? Because you never know when your plan B might have to become that plan A for your family. So I think that's just something to think about and to, you know, talk to your family, talk to your spouse. And, you know, if it's something that you guys are really on board, we are here to support you guys, to guide you. Next week, what we're hoping to discuss is just like basic sharing, like sharing 101. So we're just going to talk about how to share, who to share with, and kind of just get into those basics so that we have like a ground floor of this is why we do it, this is how we're going to do it, and that we can all move forward and grow together. So lastly, I think some of you may have this already, but I wanted to offer to anybody who's on the call tonight, when I post a replay, I'll also offer this to anybody in the team. But we have this amazing little resource called Your Game Plan. It's going to be backwards, but it's called Building a Life Beyond Survival Mode. And this is, it's a really short little, like it's a teeny tiny little book, like the size of my hand. So basically it's like you sit and you just read it. It takes you probably like 20 minutes. But it goes through this girl's story, and she's an American, but they were basically, her and her family were living on the poverty line. Like they could not, like they had to live on food stamps, and they both had full-time jobs. They were both in school. They had, I think, 5 children at the time. I think they had all of their children. And it walks through, and this is on Young Living as well, and it walked through what it offered for their family. So if you haven't read this yet and you're interested, I would absolutely love to mail it to you. So I'll start a thread in our sharing group. So if you're not in the sharing group yet, just talk to like myself, to Cassie, to Nicola, any of your upline leaders on here, to Leah, and we'll get you plugged into the sharing group. But if you don't have this, I would absolutely love to mail it out to you. As well as we have this little opportunity brochure, which just basically walks you through the basics of what the opportunity is like. So it's a quick trifold of how you get started, so what starter kit you would select, essential rewards, and the potential for earning. And then it has an income disclosure on the back. So these I will mail if you don't have them. So that is everything I had for us tonight. We are pretty much at 8:30, which I wanted to kind of honor that time so that you guys can get back to your families and your kids and spouses. So I just want to thank you all for jumping on tonight and giving us some of your time to learn a little bit more. And I'm really looking forward to just connecting with you guys every week. I'm going to have 2 posts. One for if you want a copy of this. The second one for a thread of ideas of the topics that you guys want to cover over these next few calls. So that is everything I have tonight. Unless anybody has any questions, you want to raise your hand or pop on. I'll give it a second.
No, you covered it, Megan. I was just about to say, can you start a thread with some ideas? Because obviously everybody's going to have different things that they want.
Just different things that we need to talk about. Yeah. Objections, how to share, who to share with.
Yeah.
yeah, we have some ideas buzzing. I also have some ideas in the works for guest speakers that we have to come on. I have one scheduled for the 25th Monday, so 2 Mondays from now. I'm going to keep that a secret just for a little bit, just for some excitement and some anticipation. And I have a couple ideas of people that I'd like to just come on and share with us too. So yeah, I'm super excited for these calls and everything moving forward. So if nobody has any questions, we will just end it for tonight and connect next week. Awesome.
Good. Thanks, Megan.
Ladies, I appreciate you, and men. I appreciate your time for jumping on here.
Hey, Phil. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, you guys have a wonderful evening. Bless you.
Okay, see you guys.
Have a good night.